Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plugs Roundtable live stream. I'm your host, Chris Patrick, and it is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. This is going to be the final Valley Sports Plug Roundtable live stream ever. Yes, we're going to retire it in 2026. More on that in a bit. Guys, no agenda is the agenda tonight. This is likely to be our last live stream of the year. So we just wanted to hop on here, talk some sports, have some fun. There's just far too much to get into for us to even cover it all. I mean, goodness, where do we begin? Sam Levitt, transfer portal, Kenny Dillingham, Michigan. The NFL is a mess. The Chiefs are not going to make the playoffs. The Cardinals are not going to make the playoffs. The Diamondbacks re-signed Merrill Kelly. I mean, the list goes on and on. But let's go ahead and introduce the fellas. We have the usual suspects. I'm just going to state your names and y'all can go from there. We got Mr. Benjamin, VSP Tallman, and his brother, Mr. T Jr., twins Basil, the unwinning fantasy, not fantasy.
Hey, you don't have to bring that up, Chris.
The unwinningest trivia team of all time.
You never gave us another chance. It was like we suck so bad. You're like, you guys are done. You're not allowed.
How many chances? I think you've had more chances than anybody.
No, we only had 3 chances, I think.
No, you can count them on more than one hand. That's for sure.
That's okay.
I think so.
I guess.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing, gentlemen. 2025 is going to be an end of an era for some things. Like we were talking about, the Roundtable. We'll be transitioning into something a little bit more of what we're just going to consistently bring from Valley Sports Plug. But one thing that will be making its triumphant return for sure will be trivia. So don't worry. You'll get a crack at it, and we won't give you a layup, but we'll give you a nice competitive game so you can get your feet back.
I had some amazing pull it out of my ass answers in that. So I want some respect.
You did.
Yeah, I was definitely the weak link. So
I'll
get it. Hand up. Yeah.
I mean, hey, we all have our strong categories and our weaker categories. I'm not too proud to admit that for myself. I do want to say Valley Sports Plug in 2026, Mike, we are bringing back trivia and we are implementing some proprietary technology, some anti-cheat systems and measures will be in place to prevent any incidences and to uphold the integrity of the game and the trivia, because I don't want to put, what is it, Mike, the cart. Wait, you put the cart before the horse? Yeah, you don't put the cart before the horse. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. But we want to expand our trivia team roster to be able to, at some point, have a tournament. A tournament? Tournament.
A tourney. Yes, sir.
I like saying words different ways for different scenarios. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Fellas, let's go ahead and dive into the subjects at hand here. And as Tallman once said, just have a conversation. Because like I said, no agenda is the agenda. We were literally sitting here waiting to go live and talking about tickets for the Arizona Bowl. That's going to be, what was it? The Miami of Ohio Redhawks and Fresno State. My goodness, I was just looking at it, and the tickets are dirt cheap. So a quick drive down to Tucson, and that would be a lot of fun, I guess. And I bring that up to say that we were just like, why couldn't we just talk about this live? Like, we just have this conversation live. So let's just pick up right there, guys. I mean, Arizona Bowl,
Pop-Tart Bowl.
Pull up the tickets.
Dude, the Pop-Tart Bowl is awesome because the Pop-Tart at the end drops into the toaster and he comes out toasted.
Yeah, but where is the Pop-Tart Bowl is my thing.
We're not going to it, but I'm just saying, as far as for me as a college football fan, yeah, I mean, I would love to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl. But the thing at the end, you guys watched it before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
where they eat the giant Pop-Tart at the end.
Yeah.
He pops out and then they start eating it. They start grabbing fistfuls of Pop-Tarts.
It's some wild stuff, but yeah, that's probably one of my more favorite newer traditions of, I guess it's not bowl week anymore. It's bowl half a month longer because it's that 12-team playoff now too.
Man, I think it's awesome that Arizona has multiple bowl games now, right? Obviously, we have the Fiesta Bowl. What is that matchup this year? I haven't even looked at it.
It's part of the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's one of the.
It's the semi. Is it the semifinal? No, it's a quarterfinal, I think. It's on January 8th, though, which is weird because they normally always play it on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. But with that, it's you can't touch a ticket in there for under $350, $400.
So back in the day, the best way to like signify to your team that you had a good season, if you didn't make like the championship game or like the big BCS bowls, because back in the day there was no playoff. It was a BCS and it was like a computer like type thing. So what the goal was for a lot of teams, like if your team played after New Year's, it was a good season. Like all the December, like if you're playing like tonight, what is it, Troy versus whoever, like it's just, yeah, the later you get and the closer you get, the better the teams are. You always want to be close as possible to after New Year's Day. $29 is a steal though, dude.
That's crazy. And those are some close seats. I'm looking.
You're in Tucson
here.
though, you might fight people.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially, if they're trying to get people in here, they got to give away like gin and a backwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's make the drive.
A little bottle of Bombay and
we're going.
Nice little backwood. Have you guys ever been to a game in Tucson, whether it be like the Territorial Cup or just watched U of A? Well, I don't know why I'm asking you guys if you've ever watched U of A. So it was fun. I mean, obviously, I got to be there for a year and sit in the student section. And at the time, I think it was the biggest student section in the Pac-10 because that's how old I am. I don't think we were the Pac-12 yet. But it was basically the entire sideline. And, Tucson is notorious as much as Arizona State gets the party nickname. A lot of that was happening in Tucson as well. Because what else is there to do? But I feel like if I'm making the trip down to Tucson
it's partying
anymore, the only way that I'm going is to go watch the number one team in the country, the Arizona Wildcats. So I got to look up and see if U of A was playing basketball that weekend on like Friday or Sunday, I'd go early for this bowl game and then go watch the basketball game too.
Are they still the number one though? I thought they
kind of doubled down, man. They had a nice convincing win over Alabama, I think by like 21 points or something this weekend. So they're clear cuts right now. I mean, there's obviously in college basketball, there's always a good amount of teams that are undefeated to start the season within the first like 15 games.
Right.
So like Matt, your boys in blue, Michigan Wolverines are number 2 in the country right now.
It's the only good thing going for us right now.
And then Duke is number 3 with the Boozer brothers. Like, got some good squads in college basketball right now.
That's why I asked those, because I think I saw this on the AP, of course, Arizona. That's the one that's important, but the coaches poll, as if their opinion matters.
AP is what is the only thing.
Yeah, AP is all that matters. But Mike, I'm with you. I would definitely like kind of like we did with my bachelor trip. If you're gonna go somewhere that you otherwise wouldn't, Tucson. I've been there like 3 times in my life. I'm gonna make it worth my while, and I'm gonna go maximize my time down there. So going to a U of A game would be sick. I would say if we go to that bowl game, I'd have to sit on Miami of Ohio's sideline because you know who one of their most notable alumni is.
This is a great trivia question, and I feel this is a perfect time for VSP Tallman to flex his muscles. Come on, here we go. Here's the layup. Give it to us.
NFL player.
Ben Roethlisberger.
There he is.
Yeah, no, I see. I didn't know that at first, but then I was like, okay, wait, I know this.
You consider the source, right? And
exactly.
And then you get there.
Mike, they don't play until Monday. U of A basketball. So
well, when is the Arizona game? When is it game actually?
Saturday.
Arizona Bowl?
December 27th.
Yeah. So U of A plays that following
yeah,
Monday.
they play the 22nd and then the 29th. They play South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
That would be a fun game to go to. Watch them win by 80.
Yeah,
or lose by 5.
Well, they're playing Abilene Christian right now. They're up 45-25 with 4 minutes left in the first half. They're good, man. I wonder if this is going to be the year they run the table. We're gonna have to, Chris. We're actually gonna have to do some research and talk some college basketball before March begins next year, because this team is too good to not dial in and see. Because ASU, I mean, wait until the conference schedule really starts clicking for them because they're going to have some really tough matchups. But Bobby Hurley's got those boys playing pretty well right now too. So, I mean, that's that's a good ticket to get too. It's probably way cheaper than anything in Tucson to go see ASU play right now. So we did say we were going to try and make it out to a Sun Devil basketball game. So we're going to have to do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and got to do it before like the big remodel and everything too. But yeah, ASU right there in the mix in the Big 12, 9-2. Obviously, as Mike said, non-conference play, things could start to get a little bit messy. As like, I think that's what's a tough thing about ASU going into the Big 12 is like there are some good basketball schools in here. You got Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, BYU. Obviously, like I'm talking about like perennially and not just looking at this, but even. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe TCU and UCF have both been known to historically put together good basketball teams as well.
Absolutely. And Baylor's been pretty good, I'd say, over the past decade consistently as well.
Baylor's a good tournament team.
I mean, that's why when our teams, when ASU and U of A both joined the Big 12, obviously first and foremost, we were very happy and like kind of doing a little phew over here was that both of them were going together. But this conference for not only for football, but basketball is so heavy, man. Like you're going to see the best college basketball that can be provided in the country. So it's a great start for both squads right now. I think ASU, obviously with a little bit softer of a non-conference schedule to start the season is going to find themselves where they are, obviously, even with the 9-2 record, but they're going to be a hard out, man. They're going to play some teams really competitive. And then, who knows, maybe they can, strike gold like they have done a couple of times against teams like Kansas when they've been ranked pretty high. I think this is their year that they have that chance to do it again.
Yeah, I could see it for sure. And then that's what you love to see, like, especially for the conference you're in and that those competitive games and those tough opponents, like those wins can hurt you just as much as they can help you. Guys, I do kind of like while we're on the subject of college basketball and in the spirit of kind of not college basketball, I'm sorry, college sports, I want to bring it back to football a little bit and the bowl games because we talked about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We were looking at the tickets for the Rate Bowl. We have the Fiesta Bowl here in town, and there's just so many bowl games. And it's funny because Jin, was it Snoop Dogg? It's called the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. And then you're like, what was it? Was it the Barstool Bowl before that? And it's like they just change names all the time. I loved when the Fiesta Bowl was the Totino's Fiesta Bowl. And then it was like the Vizio Fiesta Bowl. Now it's like the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. I don't even know who is sponsoring it these days. But my point is, I heard a conversation being had, I believe it was on the radio, about all the bowl games coming up. And maybe with the inception of the college football playoff, that bowl games have kind of become obsolete. And as the bowl games invites were going out, we saw Notre Dame most notably butthurt from not making the college football playoffs say, we're not going to go to a bowl game. We play for championships. And we've seen players opt out because they're preparing for the draft or rehabbing from an injury or whatnot.
That's understandable. The draft thing, I like Jordan Tyson not wanting to play. Totally get it. Like,
no, 100% agree. So I'm curious, like, what you guys think about like the whole thing, I guess, and more specifically, do you think that the bowl we'll see the death of the bowl game sooner rather than later, especially if and when they expand to a 16-team playoff?
No way, dude. Notre Dame doing what they did, dude. They took such an experience away. Like that's an opportunity for a lot of those kids that like maybe they're not going to go play on Sundays. Like maybe like that might be it. But like I've seen like tons of videos on Instagram and stuff where like they get so much cool shit. They get like from the actual sponsors of the bowl. Like it's a really cool experience. You get to travel, do all this stuff. Like your team gets to go, like it's some exposure. I mean, it's national television. I'm sure if you go to ESPN or YouTube TV right now, you can watch Troy playing. Like when are we ever going to watch fucking Troy play? So I don't think you'll ever see the death of it. I think there's so much money in it. As long as PlayStation's paying for the Fiesta Bowl or whoever the hell is paying for these bowls, they're never going to go away. I think for a lot of these kids, it's a big deal. Becoming bowl eligible, losing your bowl eligibility as a school is really like almost the death of your program for however long that, lasts. So no, I think as long as teams are willing to go, which there's tons of teams that will go because they're not playing for a natty. They're not playing for championships. Like I get it. That's the cliche thing you want to say. You want to hear your coach say that, but no, I don't know. know, dude. I think it's just too much of a history behind bowls being the bowl games. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I want your brother to chime in here, but I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit because you mentioned the swag and the experience, and I think that's all well and good for some situations. I have heard that the swag has kind of declined in quantity and value in recent years. But I mean, Matt, you cannot tell me that the Detroit Bowl is a destination for these people. The famous Idaho
not
Potato
saying
Bowl, like
all bowls are not gonna fall. Some bowls might go away. Like, yeah, I saw what is a big boy mower bowl or something. Like, no, I'm sure some will be interchanged and things like that. But yeah, what are these right here? LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. All right. In Inglewood, California. That just sounds like you're gonna get robbed.
I mean, like the Cheez-It Bowl in
goodness.
Orlando would be cool.
Oh,
that would be
That's
cool.
where the Pop-Tart Bowl is too, in Orlando. So we're definitely not
Is
going
it?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cheez-It Bowl's on New Year's Eve though. Like New Year's, that's a good
That's a big
good game. Like Texas Bowl. Yeah, see the Fiesta, everything that's after the Fiesta Bowl. Like New Year's Eve night's a big deal.
So we get 2 bowl games tomorrow.
Who are they? Let's
Tomorrow
see.
evening, Boca Raton Bowl and the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Oh, I can't wait.
The season
might
is
be
good
the-
on us.
What the hell are these?
Well,
That's crazy.
The
can
Myrtle
I,
Beach Bowl.
I do want VSP Tallman to go, and I feel like we keep
Yeah,
jumping in on him, but I'm going to do it anyways. I have my quick 2 cents. The reason why I think it's a little bit too watered down, I love the opportunities that these kids get, but with the age of NIL, I feel like those kind of opportunities are so thrown to the side. Their main sole focus, I feel like, is to see what kind of cash they can be checking in as soon as possible within this. So granted, exposure and all that kind of stuff, if guys are going to the league, especially if they've been in their programs for a long time, you're getting that exposure truly nowadays from the Senior Bowl. I mean, how many times over the past couple of years have we seen a lot of guys sit out these bowl games, especially if they're not within the college football playoff, if they have a high chance to be a first to even like a 3rd round draft pick? If they're nursing something even really small, you don't see the best of the best get to play in these type of games. And specifically, we're seeing it with Arizona State with Jordan Tyson. Now, he definitely should not play because of that hamstring injury. Within the first series that he came and played in the Territorial Cup, he went down. But, I can think of guys like, even Jamar Chase, who sits out an entire season. Am I wrong? I think he also sat out a bowl game one time too, because he knew that he was going to be a high draft pick. And that just comes so much more within these lower type of bowl games. So I don't know. I just feel like if you're going an entire month of bowl games, I know there's a lot of college football teams, but the intrigue is so lost until truly the only ones that matter, which, is happening towards the end of the year. So, all right, Tallman, go for it, brother.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of agree with you, Mike. I mean, it's an exhibition game. Why would you play such a violent sport in a game that doesn't mean anything, right? So I'm kind of leaning towards that. I mean, the college football playoff is going to be the death of the bowl games. But then what Matt said, it's like you have those stories though, where, this bowl game that, some of these lower level colleges get invited to, that's kind of their playoff. And one is happening here in Phoenix with the Rate Bowl, because you had Iowa State, they lost their head coach. So they declined the bowl invitation because they don't have a head coach. They're not going to, try to go through all that to play into a bowl game. So they declined it. And then now you have New Mexico coming in, which I think they just won their division. I want to say, I don't know if I don't have all the details in front of me, but I was listening to it on the radio or the local sports talk radio, and they played a clip of the head coach of New Mexico saying, "I need 10,000 fans out in Phoenix at this bowl game to support our team." So they're buying in, right? They're super stoked. So there's 2 different sides to it, but the way Notre Dame went about it is just ridiculous. And Marcus Freeman's a bitch. I know the head coach doesn't have all say in it. It's coming from the athletic director and, higher ups in the school. But when you lose head to head against Miami, the team that beat you to get into the college football playoff, I mean, you had to think that head-to-head matchup was going to come back to haunt you, and it did. They finished with the same record. I mean, I don't know what they expect. And the ACC, of course, they're going to pick Miami. Notre Dame is the only sport that they're not affiliated with the conference is football. Every other sport Notre Dame has is part of the ACC. So, okay, so you're sitting there. The ACC has got to get one team. Miami beats you head-to-head, and they're a full participant. Of course, it's going to be Miami. Like that's. I had no problem with the college football playoff and Notre Dame not getting in. And honestly, it's been fun to watch them just absolutely crash out, not getting into the playoff. It's just, you would think, hey, you know what? We'll take that bowl game invitation and we're going to go in, and whoever we're going to play, we're going to fucking stomp them. And honestly, that BYU matchup in Notre Dame, that would have been a decent game, right? That would have been pretty good. BYU's a hell of an offense. But you would think, you would say, you know what? We're going to prove to you guys, this is why we should be in the playoff. And we're going to beat this team 62-7 or some shit, right? But I don't know, college football player, it's just broken, man. And you mentioned already someone did it going to 16 teams. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at 20, 24 teams. It's just it is all a money grab, I would say as well.
I mean, what we have to remember too is the NIL. So like it's a whole different world. So who knows what these players get? Maybe these fucking bigger, like not bigger, but like maybe an ASU team gets, a booster that you guys win, you all get fucking $5,000, something like that. Like they get paid. Some of these dudes are going to make more money in college than they're ever going to make in the NFL. That's how I like.
There's a lot of players on a college team though.
Hands down. Well, yeah, but when you're a stud, like a really good player, like, and you get like, look at God, who was Ohio State's quarterback that got drafted? That's on the Steelers.
Oh yeah, I should know this. No.
Will Howard. Is that who it is? All right, cool.
That is who it is. Yeah.
Dude, that guy could be a stud on top of the world. Did he come out his junior year? You're going to see a lot of these dudes stay for senior seasons because a lot of them are going to be making, like, you're going to see like Arch Manning's not coming out till after his senior season.
They might be making more than their first like 2-3 years under a rookie contract. Especially depending where they get drafted.
Yeah, I guess that definitely. But it's just a different landscape. Like college football is so in weird, like new territory that it's interesting to see. But it's cool to see because when I was growing up and playing, they treated these dudes like coaches could hop around. It didn't matter back then. Like a coach could go from team to team. Oh, I got offered a new job and just leave. Players stuck there for 4 years, or he's got to go in front of the NCAA, and God forbid he played 3.5 quarters in one bullshit game because then they were like, nope, no eligibility. Sorry. So it's weird. College is weird now. COVID definitely changed a lot of that where you see like super seniors, but you definitely with these money being thrown around, coaches, $100 million, like it's wild.
Well, and that's what's funny talking about Will Howard is he played 5 seasons in college. He played 3 for KSU and then, or I'm sorry, 4 for KSU and then 1 for Ohio. It looks like I guess he redshirted. He got that 2020 year. I think that's why he got to play 5.
Yeah, so super senior.
Yeah. And did you already talk about Carson Beck too? Another guy who is kind of hopping around from successful programs and finds himself once again having an opportunity with Miami, right? Yeah, they are the 10 seed. That's going to be a tough game with Texas A&M. And then obviously if they do win that game, they're going to have to go up against Ohio State. But Chris, I think Matt perfectly threw in a nice transition for us where he talked about, it used to be a lot more common to see coaches switching teams more often than not. We got to talk about Kenny and what happened.
He's going
over the weekend and what has happened more recently too, because I think a lot of people are starting to get a little bit more skeptical if our guy's going to stay in the Valley now.
Oh man. Yeah. Tough. It's looking, it's like been a roller coaster. I mean, for me personally, like when the news first broke, I'm like, that could be enticing. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, Kenny's from here. He went there. This is like his dream job. And people are like, he has the opportunity to build like a legacy here, be the next Frank Kush, like have the stadium named after him one day. But at the same time, like, man, if Michigan's going to pay you like 4 or 5 times what ASU is, and like they're talking about restructuring. I mean, like, I think there is probably a number where Kenny just cannot refuse, and the guy's like 35 years old. Yeah, of course. Like, I think every ASU fan is on the edge of their seat. And what I just think about now, just today, is what is the outlet that's been reporting the news? It's like breaking 360 or something like that. I don't know what the one is, but they were the same people who broke the news that Sam Levitt would be entering the transfer portal, that his brother / agent came down and was like, no, that's not true. That's not true. Fast forward a week and a half later, he's entering the transfer portal. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And they're reporting that Kenny is, weighing his options, considering the Michigan job. And that there's talks going on, and he hasn't come out, as far as I've seen, even as of today, come out and definitively said, no, I'm not going there. And he's been really emotional, and this is like a crazy thing. And I think he's saying it's crazy because like he got the email with the amount of money they wanted to offer him, and he's like, holy shit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what your thoughts are on it, guys.
Well, I need to know what Matt feels about this, because this is,
Fucking
his
bring
boys
him.
in blue
Bring him.
having the opportunity to bring in
throw a
culture
blank
changer, man.
check at him. Throw a fucking blank check and get Kenny, dude. I
was about to say, I feel like I viewed that Saturday press conference from a wrong lens. I feel like initially, when he was talking and he started to get emotional, and he talked about how his sister lives next to him and his parents live right down the street, or 2 or 4 houses down, whatever. And that pause that he had where he was choking up, it wasn't a sense of, just at peace with where he is in his life and really looking forward to the continued success. That was what I initially thought of it. But the more and more people talked to me and really kind of like put it out there, that was a man who was reflecting on the great times that he had, what he had built, everything that he had gone through, from a tough start to his, tenure, obviously, and building to a program that was going to be, challenging for a Big 12 playoff bid, what they've done over the past 2 years, and seeing, I think, goes back to exactly what you talk about, Chris. I think every man has his dollar sign that makes it hard to not sit and think about, no matter what the circumstances are. If you are a kid that is born and bred, or just an Arizona guy through and through, and you have your dream job, I think everybody does have dream jobs, but dreams change as life goes on as well. So this is where we find ourselves with Kenny, but I didn't think that it was going to happen so fast. But this is just an opportunity that a lot of people can't pass off. And especially because what Michigan went through after winning a national championship and kind of getting, the tomato on their face with everything that happened with Harbaugh, and then obviously now the craziness with their previous coach, if he were to go there, he would be embraced with open arms. And I think the kids would do that for him too. So this is going to be a tough couple of next months for Arizona State fans. That's to say the least.
Well, no, and I see what you're saying, Mike, about the interview where he paused for like 30 seconds, and you're like I listened to it on the radio, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Is something wrong with my car? What the fuck? But he comes out and he also talked about, after the West Virginia game, he said, I'm not going anywhere. Obviously, this is well before homeboy in Michigan had a mental breakdown and, went crazy over there and got fired, right? That was well before this position was open. But would you want to move from Scottsdale, Arizona to Ann Arbor, Michigan? I just don't. I mean, obviously, this is a once in a lifetime, type opportunity. But then there's reports coming out of, it seems like he's using this as leverage to get an amended contract with ASU, where, I mean, he said before, it's not about the money, but it's like he could literally say, hey, they're offering me this. How bad do you want me to stay? How bad are you guys invested in winning and making ASU a winning program? So, I mean, he's got that there where he can use that to get more money if money's absolutely the case. But it's like he could make I think Chris, you said it, he could make like 3 or 4 times more than he's getting paid right now. Like that's, I mean, right now it's already generational money, but you're talking about multi-generational money there from something that, and he's only 35. I mean, he could coach Michigan State, or I think he's older than 35, right?
Not State, put some respect
Or
on
excuse
it.
me, I'm Michigan. Yes, he could coach that program for the next 20 years if it all went well. So I just don't believe it's one of those things where I don't think he's going to do it. Will I be surprised if he does? Because no, money talks, right? At the end of the day, money talks, and it's one of the best coaching jobs in college football. Right,
Yeah.
with Alabama, Georgia. I don't know if you want to put LSU in there, maybe even Notre Dame, but it's like it'd be tough to turn that down. But I hope they just listen to Dave Portnoy and just hire John Gruden, man. That's all you need. He's a Michigan man, right, Matt?
No, we don't need John Gruden. But dude, what did I say to you guys when we were golfing Saturday? I told you that video was a dude who's having to put his dog down next week. I said, that's the mentality. That's what I felt was like when you're just like, shit. You're just like thinking about all the cool times, all the awesome like trips and puppuccinos and shit like that. And you're like, oh man, this is going to suck. That's what I felt. Yeah, you never gotten your dog those?
Straight through the Starbucks drive-through. Come on,
But,
Tallman.
dude,
You've done it.
It's a
Ashley's done it at least.
Get it
It's a
right.
pup-
I definitely
puppuccino.
It's close enough.
Yeah, they
Put it as-
ruined my fucking black interior.
Oh, dude, but I think it's such an opportunity to go coach literally such a historical program. And honestly, they're in such a better place than ASU is. Like, and realistically, in the next 5 years, are we winning another like big? Are we doing anything? Like, do you really? Michigan is in a great place. They have a great quarterback in Bryce Underwood, who's a super young kid that's not going anywhere, that loves Michigan. He's from there, so he's not going to have to worry about him getting good and leaving because there's nowhere else to really go. That's one of the best programs to go to. That's the program, if you're playing, you stay at. You don't go anywhere else. So I just don't see, and like, I mean, maybe some boosters come out and throw him a bunch of money or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think I think it's tough for him. Because fuck it, dude, you're gonna get so much money from Michigan. Just buy all your family mansions on your street. Who gives a shit where they're at now?
I just don't know how much more of this Michigan propaganda I can listen to.
Oh, dude.
I don't want to freeze to death either. So.
I mean, but not that your brother brings up a good point in that the weather in Michigan is far less favorable than it is in Tempe. And I get that Michigan is a historic program and you already have the prestige there. It's easy to recruit when you have that pedigree, sure. But that goes if you don't believe in what Kenny is building here currently in Tempe, and we're already seeing the fruits of that with just a short sample size with like Sam Levitt and those moves that he's made in Camp Scadaboo. And it's easy to say that was just a flash in the pan because of those two guys, but we see just right here 4-star recruit QB Weston Nielsen commits to Arizona State in the 2027 class.
He's old, man.
Yeah, he's old as fuck, and that's his wife, but he's still fully eligible.
She's like 23 years younger than him.
But he flipped despite being interested in Michigan. So he was interested in Michigan, but he wants to come to ASU.
There it is, Matt.
Play.
So
Bryce Underwood's playing. We already got last year's #1 fucking ranked quarterback in the draft or the recruiting class.
But the point stands. There's something to believe in here where it's where Kenny is.
Where's ASU's 5-stars? Where all their 5
They're
stars
coming. They're coming. Kenny Dillingham's 35 years old. But
Signing
regardless,
day came fast.
I mean, Michigan is just a dumpster fire. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to hitch their wagon to that. Because, I mean, you're coming off of the Harbaugh stuff where he just had to peace out because of all that scandal going on. And then you have this Sharon Moore stuff to where now investigations are being launched. Outside bodies are starting to look into this. Is it appealing right now? I mean, the money, we can talk about the money and all that.
Still number 19 team.
I suppose so. The last thing I will say is if you're Kenny Dillingham, this is not the end all be all. If you go to Michigan and it doesn't work out, it's not the NFL. You're going to get another shot somewhere else. And I don't want to say like ASU would take him back with open arms, but I mean, they don't exactly have a fantastic track record of head coaches and longevity here in Tempe. So I don't know, man. That's going to be a sad day when Kenny leaves. I think we were all hoping it would be a lot further down the road if it did happen. But I think if he leaves now, it does leave the door open for him to come back in the future. Guys, I did see this breaking news just come across my screen, and this may be a past the outlet topic, but while we're just freeballing here, Adam Silver announces decision on NBA expansion will be made in 2026. I think the main contenders right now are getting a team back in Seattle and then potentially Las Vegas as well. I know some other markets have shown interest, but I think those are further down the line. Mike, host of Pass the Outlet, expansion, are you ready for it?
Give it to me. Why not? Especially get it into Las Vegas. It's a necessity at this point. We know that the Golden Knights have been very successful in their time in the NHL there. We're going to see the Athletics there within the next couple of years too. It's just a continuously growing market, even though, you know, every other YouTube video I see is how Las Vegas is dying. I don't know. I think Tallman's going to go spend a pretty penny there in just a couple of weeks too. So, and Seattle, I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know, that fan base had that team literally stripped away from them under their noses, and they've waited a very, very long time. The NBA continues to grow. It obviously has a very heavy presence internationally as well. I think those are the kind of conversations where just never have them. You know how the NFL always tried to talk about going into Europe and that kind of stuff. You can have your overseas games. Do not add teams out of country. It just is not fair for the players, but that's a different conversation. Those are the two markets that just make the most sense for the NBA to bring back the Supersonics. And I don't know, do you guys have a good name that you could throw out for Las Vegas? I feel like Mr. T has something that he could whip up on the fly for an NBA team. Anything? Tallman? Anything?
I have nothing.
Oh,
Las Vegas.
Give it to us, Chris.
Let's hear it.
The Las Vegas basketball team.
Oh my
God. Yeah, talk about a team getting ripped from under your nose. That sucked.
Well, and it sucks because they did have a championship. It was obviously in the 70s, but where the Oklahoma City has found themselves since going to Oklahoma City with the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook era, and now the SGA era, and basically dominance to be seen for many years to come at this point. Seattle needs a favor. As much as I hate the Seahawks, I mean, basketball in Seattle is much deserved. And right now, I mean, what other markets would truly be deserving outside of those two for professional sports? I don't know. I really don't know. Those just make the most sense.
I'm sure if I sat down and thought about it, I might be able to rattle off a few, but for the sake of time, Seattle definitely does deserve one. I mean, I just think of those green and yellow jerseys, the vibrant 90s flair. Like, people will love that dose of nostalgia. Yeah, they had the dark green ones too. That's right. And I just think of Gary the Glove, man. Like, so I would like to see that. As far as Vegas, like, that would be fine, I suppose. But I see two West Coast teams, so it's like, what team is going to be in the East? And then I've also seen even some say they do add Seattle and Las Vegas, then they would just do like a full like conference realignment, and that could shift stuff. Because I mean, like, it doesn't, the Minnesota Timberwolves being in the Western Conference, dude, like, that's what I don't get about, like, I think just geographically we grew up in the West, so maybe this is like a me thing, but like, it seems like the rest of the country considers the West like everything west of Texas, and like, I'm sorry, everything west of like New York or Pennsylvania is the West, and like the East is just like the small sliver, because like the Midwest is like the center of the. I'm getting off on a tangent, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, no, hold on. I think you're onto something in regard to doing a conference realignment, because if you think about the NBA as division wise, you know, there's 5 different teams in each division. To the normal fan, could you guys tell me who's in the Pacific Division with the Suns? You could take a decent guess and get close, but you're probably going to miss a team or two because basketball is so predicated on the year-to-year rivalries that are built and become new, right? As like these are the two best shooting guards in the NBA. So these teams kind of become semi-rivals for a couple of seasons. It just ebbs and flows so much more within the NBA comparative to something like the NFL, where it's like these teams have been so established in their divisions for so many years at this point. It would be hard to, like turn the Cardinals back to the NFC East like they were when they first moved to Arizona. Like they are so established now in the NFC West and have those rivalries with those other three teams. A lot of NBA teams just don't have that because, like I said, it keeps changing year after year as teams get better and whatnot. And the divisions are kind of a thing in itself that don't matter at all for the NBA. It really is just conference. You're the best in the East or you're the best in the West. And if some of those teams need to move around a little bit, you're going to continue to build new rivalries as teams match up with each other a little bit more. Because in the NBA, I think every Western Conference team matches up 4 times a year. And then East teams, you'll play the East teams at least twice. Sometimes, depending on the schedule, it could be 3 times. So you're still getting to play everybody more often than not and getting to play them every single year. Those rivalries will be renewed and rebuilt very fast when you add new teams. So I'm hoping for the best here. More teams in this league. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm about it. And I don't hate this proposal right here, this article from The Athletic talking about this exact thing. And basically you see just that, like, and it makes more sense geographically. Like you can go check it out, but it's like, obviously has Seattle in the West and Las Vegas in the West. And then you just shift the Memphis Grizzlies over to the East Coast and pretty much solves all your problems right there. Cause it also, like, Mike, I think you were kind of saying there with like the kind of the time zones too, and the scheduling of it all is like Lakers fans, or I guess Knicks fans, ends up complaining when they have to play the Lakers in November because it's 9 p.m. when the game's starting or 8 p.m. when the game's starting, which is like midnight on the East Coast. Like, I don't know, man. I'm all for the expansion though, and I love more than anything the expansion draft. Speaking of which, the WNBA is about to have their expansion draft. Tallman, I think you wanted to tell us a little bit about that, right?
Spread the good news. Come on, spread the good news.
They're adding a team to El Paso, Texas. And then what was the other team, Chris? I forgot.
Oh yeah, the other team, the Toronto Tempo.
Toronto Tempo.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And the Portland Fire, I think, is who you were talking about. I don't think
it's
getting a team. Yeah.
Oh, pass that. I kind of like that team for that name for Toronto Tempo.
Yeah, and I think they're like a blue theme, kind of sticking with the city. Is that sticking with the city? The Blue Jays, I guess, are the only blue team.
So would it be crazy if the men's expansion team in Las Vegas took the same name as the women's team, the Aces?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Because I have, I don't know.
Actually, I want you to go first, Mike, because I think I have
it's a perfect name, but I see that's not normal.
I would absolutely hate it because at this point, if you're trying to build these leagues as its own separate entities, and we know that the women's game is growing immensely over the past 5 years, I would say, and there's still continued really good talent coming through the NCAA ranks and players like Juju Watkins, even though she's been injured. But the Las Vegas Aces, I think, have won 3 titles in the past 5 to 6 years. Like, even though there are newer franchise in the WNBA, they are starting to be more established as like a perennial winner. So I think it would be counterintuitive to just be like, all right, here is the men's Aces. All right, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what I'm hearing is make them change their name, and then the men's team takes. I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, no. So here's where I say I have a little bit of a different take, and I've been saying this for years, and this could just be me, like, just wanting to swim upstream or go against the grain. But in Europe, you look at the clubs they have, like Real Madrid, they have men's team, women's team, soccer, and then men's basketball. I don't think they have a women's basketball team. But basically the concept would be like you have the Phoenix Suns, and they have the Phoenix Suns football team and the Phoenix Suns baseball team and the Phoenix Suns men's basketball and the Phoenix Suns women's basketball. Obviously in America, we're never going to take it to that degree. But I mean, look at how many of the NBA owners that own the team and the NBA team in their city also own the WNBA team in their city. Matt Ishbia owns the Mercury, basically, and it's the similar theme, the solar theme. You got the Suns and the Mercury, and they the similar colors, and obviously the same court. They all vibe off each other. So I would have less of a problem with it. I just think negative points for lack of originality. Come up with something new. That'd be my take.
Have they said if the Athletics are going to change their name, or are they going to be the Athletics when they move?
They can't change their name.
They got to keep that.
I don't know if they have said that.
That's a historic.
I mean, so that is something to consider then too. Well, I was going to say at least two of the teams have names that start with A's, but then you have the Golden Knights, so you kind of can do whatever you want. I would not be surprised, though, if it's not some kind of gambling casino-based name that rolls into what the basketball team is, because that's kind of normally how the WNBA and the NBA teams kind of stagger their team names anyways. The NBA teams have been established for so many more years before the WNBA, began in the 90s, so they just kind of took loosely off of what the market already had and kept something similar to it. So it'd be funny to see it goes the other way around this time, though.
Yeah, too bad they can't use the Kings. That Aces and Kings.
That would have been absolutely.
That would have been good. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect. Then they can just make a deal with the WNBA team where they can be the Queens, and then
no, that's sexist, Chris. Can't do that.
All right, fine. Then the men's team will be the Queens. Fuck it. Yeah, no, I actually have an idea for the Athletics name change. It's actually perfect. They could just be the Las Vegas baseball team. Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
You are just bringing the heaters tonight, Chris.
Yeah, come on.
Batting 1,000. Hell yeah. No, but that'll be interesting. But anyway, I bring up the WNBA draft and kind of rib Tallman there. Just say that I love an expansion draft. The teams are gonna, especially with bringing in two teams, you can only protect like 5 or 6 players. So like when that happens, they'll announce it next year. You probably expect the expansion, Mike. I'd say 27, 28, probably 27 at the earliest. The Suns are going to lose half of their roster to this expansion draft potentially. Now it's not guaranteed, obviously, but it is a good opportunity for teams to give up bad contracts. So the Suns, I'm not crossing my fingers too much, but the Suns could maybe have some reprieve to get rid of a bad contract or two should that time roll around. Now I'm not saying we have any bad contracts necessarily right now, but I know how Matt Ishbia operates. That aside, I don't want to get too much into the Suns. Guys, I guess we're 50 minutes in. So I kind of wanted to talk about the NFL. I know there were some topics we were kind of throwing around in show prep. Matt's shaking his head.
Football died this year, like week 7.
Along with everyone's ACL, right? I mean, this weekend was just the final nail in everyone's ACL. It was Pat Mahomes and Micah Parsons leading the pack in that. I mean, what you guys were rattling off the list earlier. What was it? Tucker Kraft, Nick Bosa. Help me out here.
Malik Neighbors. That's the only one I know.
I closed out of it.
You're fine.
But the one homework assignment he gave to you, you didn't even keep the notes.
He asked questions. It seemed like you were writing that shit down, Chris.
I was going to, and then I was like, "Oh, we'll just remember. We'll bring it. We'll talk about it and bring it up when nobody remembered." Don't do drugs, kids. But regardless, it's tough here for the ACLs, and then the Cardinals here at home have been ravaged by injuries too. I don't think we've had any ACLs yet. Lucky enough, but now Bam Knight's on the IR. He's done for the season, as if he was our saving grace. What was James Conner's injury? Was his an ACL?
No, he broke his leg.
I think his was his lower leg. Yeah.
His was kind of like the Scadaboo. Same kind of similar thing. So
gruesome.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I could ask you guys a question, but I mean, like I said, there's just a lot going on in the NFL. Like Phillip Rivers returning after 5 years coaching high school football. The Chiefs are eliminated from contention. I think I mentioned a couple of those at the top. And then the Broncos and Patriots are the best team in the NFL. I think first where I want to start here locally, and then we can kind of see where the road takes us, because I think that point is the most important, with the Broncos and Patriots being at the top of the league and the AFC specifically. But where the similarities can be drawn here locally is those are teams at the end of like a 3-4 year rebuild, respectively. Sean Payton coaching the Broncos is a candidate the Cardinals kind of vetted. He met with Michael Bidwell. I don't think there was an official offer laid out, but there was interest, and mutually so. And it sounds like the numbers just weren't there, and probably some other factors if I had to guess as well. I mentioned those to you when we were golfing on Sunday, Matthew, not Saturday. But we were also just watching Gannon here deliver his post-game word salads, and the same things he says week in and week out. Oh, that's a good football team we played. He said we were ready to play. We got to control the controllables. We were just back to practice tomorrow. And it's like, it gets exhausting, guys. I'm curious what your thoughts are, Matt. I guess I'll ask you first. I feel like you have some strong opinions on Cardinals head coach John Gannon.
I can't stand listening to that dude talk. I really can't. I mean, it's tough. It's like he's trying to make like a 5-course meal with chicken shit. Like, our team's not great. We have nobody, like we were saying, everybody died basically. It's tough. It's tough. I feel for him, but I shouldn't pay for it. I mean, I'm like 50-50. The blowouts are bad. And I can't keep listening to him say the same shit over and over again about needing to get back to work and execute. And I think he said digging ourselves a hole probably like 10 times this year. So like, but then it's who else? Like, who's the best available head coach? Like, who do you go get and restart? Basically, like full on restart what I thought we were towards. I thought we were towards the tail end of restarting. And now it's like a toddler walked by and ripped out the fucking power cord and we didn't save the game. Now we're starting over again. So I don't know. It's a hot seat. If he comes back, that seat's going to be red hot. And if we play shitty and he's back next season, week 5, he's the first coach fired.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because when Kyler Murray started the season so poorly, and then the Titans game being like the penultimate like frustration boiling point, we kind of like still had Gannon's back to be like, Kyler's the problem, guys. Like, it's obviously Kyler sucks. So let's see what Jacoby Brissett can do. And Jacoby Brissett looked good, and it was like, okay, see, Kyler could never do that. Like, this is gonna look pretty good. But then we haven't won a fucking game. So it's like, the Kyler haters have credence to their arguments when they post the memes of winning with Kyler versus winning with Jacoby Brissett, and it's losing with Kyler versus losing with Jacoby Brissett, and it's like we have a smile on our face losing with Jacoby Brissett and a big frowny face losing with Kyler. Matt, I know you're a bit of a Kyler defender. I'm not gonna like go in on that too much, because I think there is
it's a lot of garbage time for Jacoby's stats. So I know his numbers look great, but dude, it's real easy when you throw 60 pass attempts a game and you're fucking down 38 points. Like, we suck. I don't know if it is the quarterback. I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's Johnathan Gannon. I think it's our coordinators. Like, I couldn't tell you, but admittingly, we've golfed the last 3 Sundays. I haven't watched a fucking game. Like, I don't want to watch anymore. Like, I mean, I've gone back and watched like the highlights, and I've had it recorded and like watched a little bit here and there, but we just we're like a practice squad. Like, I don't even know. And then the fact that we're bummed Bam Knights on IR is absurd.
Well, I'm not bummed about that.
But I'm just saying that's like the news.
No
like,
one's bummed.
Zonovan.
Thank God we have Trey McBride. Thank God.
That's such a great point you make there, Matt, because I think that's a lot of Cardinals fans. I mean, like, Mike, you famously won season tickets for this year. Have you had fun going to every single game this year with your tickets?
I have, yeah. I'll be honest.
Nice.
I had fun at every single game, but guess what? The fun ends when the buzzer ends because they lose every game. The only win that they've had at State Farm Stadium this year was against the Carolina Panthers, and they were really prepped to give that one away as well. So it was, it's been a comedy of errors this year. In regard to Johnathan Gannon's job security, I feel like I'm not ready to talk about it until this season ends because everybody is getting too wishy-washy, I think, right now. Like, we need to see the full picture on how things finish out because I know there's a lot of injuries. Now, a lot of people are turning from, well, no coaching staff could get this correct with these guys. Well, what happens with the running game through the first three weeks with James Conner, and it's a shell of what it's looked like the past 2 years and has taken 3 steps backward. And every facet of this team is not buttoned up. And now you can clearly state that guys on this team are quitting. That defense quit against the Los Angeles Rams. Whether they have 5 straight scoring drives, and then the same thing happened in this Texans game, 5 in a row, the first 5, and we turned the ball over a bunch. It's not just personnel issue. It's coaching issues. It's culture issues. It's everything is wrong with this team right now. And I just cannot believe that we're here in year 3 of a rebuild. And you'd just be hard pressed to look at any franchise and look at what has happened within this 3-year stretch and tell them, yeah, this team might end up 3-15 and they're going to bring the coach back for the 4th year with a 15 and 37 record at that point. That's how the Arizona Cardinals continue to stay as laughing stocks of the NFL and just continue to embarrass us as a fan base. So if I'm not kind of showing you my hand a little bit in regard to my thought process for Johnathan Gannon, you're not reading the tea leaves enough. But yeah, this is so bad. And here's the so bad part too. I was able to sell the Rams tickets. I gave the Falcons tickets to Chris, but Chris couldn't find anybody to go to with him because this team is so fucking bad. He had to give the tickets back to me.
Oh no. You gave up, Chris?
True story. I gave up.
So I could give them to somebody else.
I'm so sorry I said no.
I begged VSP Tallman.
I'm sorry, man.
That is the epitome
I'm good
of what has happened this year with this Arizona Cardinals team. It is so bad. It is just becoming really hard to believe.
No, sorry. Let me jump in here. I haven't had a
go
chance
for it.
yet.
Yeah.
It's impossible to sell to your fan base. Keeping a head coach and a coaching staff that finishes the season. We're not going to win another game. We're going to be 3-14 at the end of the year. How do you bring that guy back after the trajectory was going up year 1, year 2, and then year 3 when we finally had expectations? They invested some money. I mean, they invested it all on the defensive side of the ball, but like we were supposed to compete and we couldn't have fallen flatter on our face. Then this season was an utter just disappointment. And I mean, we can't hang our hat on we're losing close games. I mean, we're getting blown out by division foes. I mean, Johnathan Gannon's only won like 2 or 3 division games in his entire 3 years here. And a couple of those one of those was against San Francisco at the end of the season when they were playing basically their B team. So can't even really count that. But it's really hard. Like, you can't sell that to anybody. I'm not buying it, right? But I'm still here. It's still sticking with me that, because they're not going to fire him in season. I think we all kind of agreed on that. I know we were kind of, putting it out there. Maybe they shift something around. Maybe they demote Petsing, maybe they're something like that goes on. Because if you look at where we're at in the standings, the bottom of the NFL, I mean, we're right there with the Giants. They fired their head coach. With the Titans, they fired their head coach. With the Raiders, they fired their coordinators. And I think the Jets just fired their defensive coordinator. And we're right there. We haven't fired anybody, right? We're one of the bottom feeders that haven't fired anybody. But that's not going to solve anything. This team's still going to suck. I mean, the Giants still sucked after they fired a Dayball, which that was like a month ago that they did that. So there's no reason to fire him now, but there's something sticking with me that we're going to see them come around again. They're going to have one more try. They're going to get a chance to find the replacement at starting quarterback. I don't know if we're going to draft someone high. Just looking at some of the mock drafts, I mean, do you envision this team trading up to get Mendoza? Is he even that much of a generational talent? Like, there's a reason why months ago they're calling it not that great of a draft class coming out for quarterbacks. So, I mean, are you going to rely on a second or third day quarterback to come in and compete and learn from Jacoby Brissett? But the only reason I'm saying it's sticking with me that they're going to have another chance, because it's how much you're going to put in the injury bucket as a reason why this season failed. I mean, you can kind of blame it on the offensive side of the ball, where we only have one of our starting lineup or linemen playing right now. I mean, we're on our fifth string running back. Marvin Harrison has missed a handful of games. I mean, the defensive side of the ball, I mean, we've had most of our guys back, but we've been banged up all season. But it's like, is he going to get another chance because that's an excuse? And then you mix in this whole Kyler Murray soft benching. Was he hurt? Was he not hurt? We all know he wasn't hurt. There's nothing wrong with Kyler Murray. He was benched because it's year 7 and we need to go a different direction finally. So that's going to be mixed in to give him another chance. And then you have the Michael Bidwell factor of money, money, money is all he cares about. Does he want to add another head coach onto that payroll that is not even with the team? Is he going to join Cliff Kingsbury? Is Johnathan Gannon going to join him? Because Cliff is still getting paid until 2027. So how much does this team want to win? And at the end of the day, is this turnover at the coaching staff, at the head coach position? How are you ever going to build a culture? I know, Chris, don't jump at me, because right now the culture is real bad, right? It's down low. We were building up real hot the first 2 seasons with Gannon, and coming into the season, it couldn't have flip-flopped more. Like, we took a complete 180 coming into the season. We're like, Gannon's he's solid. He ain't going nowhere. All these talks about him being on the hot seat if he doesn't perform this season, and boom, there's the 180, and we're at the position now towards the end of the season talking about exactly that. But I mean, if you bring this head coaching staff back, and if you're afraid to not fire somebody because you don't want to pay them, I mean, and you're not afraid to look in the mirror and say, we have the wrong person here to do this job so that we can win, then we're doomed. That falls on the ownership. So I'm with seeing him go, but who are you going to replace him with? You mentioned Mike McCarthy, but I don't know. I just don't know. But it's impossible to sell to anybody that this coaching staff deserves another chance when you have this season has just plummeted off the side of a cliff. 4-13. I mean, how many games in a row are we going to lose? And then you go into the offseason like, yeah, we're gonna bring him back and try this all over again. I mean, and then, oh, by the way, we're gonna increase season ticket prices as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, what's going on?
Oh, you hit on a bunch of things there. I want to say, I saw a post of somebody's season ticket prices where in 2022, I think the grand total was $2,200. This upcoming season, their ticket price for the same seats are going up to $3,900. This product has not been worth that type of increase. That's besides the point. The other one that I really love, Tallman, is I completely just forgot it. So I'm going to throw it over to somebody else as I try to remember it.
No, yeah, reel it in, because I do. Tallman, you did lay out a lot of really great points there. And it just highlights, like, where do we go with this team? And Johnathan Gannon does deserve a lot of the blame. Drew Petzing deserves a lot of the blame. Nick Rallis deserves a lot of the blame. But to Matt's point, I think Kyler does. Not Matt's point wasn't that Kyler deserves part of the blame. My point is, but I think that it's trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, where Gannon and Kyler, what they're trying to do, they just don't align. And when we saw Kyler come into the league, he had Cliff Kingsbury, where they had that familiarity. They were on the same page. They were going to basically formulate the offense. And it worked kind of for a period of time until it didn't. And Cliff Kingsbury got exposed. But they didn't go out of their way to bring in another head coach that would be tailored to Kyler. I think because Johnathan Gannon had just had success with the Eagles, Michael Bidwell saw that and was like, man, this could be like the next, great guy, and defense wins championships and all that. So we can figure out all that stuff with Kyler later on. And Gannon was on board with that. I mean, first time head coach. He's like, yeah, boss, whatever you want. Kyler's great. I'll make it work. He's our guy. He's our guy. He's our guy. There's no doubt he's our guy. Laughing in the media's face. And now here we are. What? He made it all 6 games in, and we have to make up an injury and baby by him all the way out the door. I just think a lot of the blame is being thrown around here, but not enough of it is being leveraged towards Monty Ossenfort and this roster he's put together. There were some big misses, guys. We traded down. I believe we traded down where we could have had Will Anderson Jr. and instead took Paris Johnson in 2023. In 2024, again, I believe we traded down. Could be wrong there, but could have had a guy like Jared Verse and instead ended up with Darius Robinson. So I think those 2 moves are tied together, and we can play the coulda, shoulda, woulda thing with drafts all day long, and we love to do that with basketball and the Suns particularly. But this is kind of where we're at with the end of the previous regime, and goodness, I can't believe so the Steve Keim era, but now it's like, so yes, Gannon deserves blame, Ossenfort deserves blame. Ultimately, this all really falls on Michael Bidwell for sure. But it's just like, what do you do? I agree with you, Tallman, that like it's tough seeing all these firings happening around the league, and then we're sitting here not doing anything. But what will that really accomplish? At the end of the day, you bring in Jeff Rodgers, you promote him to be interim head coach, and we still lose every game. So we're going to lose every game no matter what. I mean, we could clear house, we could fire a coordinator, but like, again, I think you guys are right, though. I don't know who said it. Maybe multi you said it. I think we see these 3 guys. I don't think anyone gets fired. I could very well see Gannon, Petzing, and Rallis all coming back next season. Kyler Murray's going, and then we figure it out from there. But the last thing I'll throw out there, and Mike, I hope you got your point back, is even if Fernando Mendoza is that guy and we draft him, how often is a rookie quarterback ready to go year 1? So you're not looking at Gannon 1 more year. If you do bring him back, you got to give him another 3.
We can't outbid the Jets.
But that's going to be the tough thing too with what happens next year. If this leadership group does come back, is there's going to be a playoff mandate. And while this team is positioned better than it was at the start of this rebuild, there are better players. And you just have to think about the guys that are going to get healthy, hopefully next year, and be contributors. I mean, I just cannot believe that they kept stretching out the most key component, which was the quarterback play, into a system that was never built for a guy that you said, yes, we can handle this. We can make him the guy that we always wanted. You never tailored something around him. Like, I don't know if I can trust those people anymore, but that's where the Cardinals find themselves in such a tough predicament. Cause you were talking about who else is out there, right? There's no Ben Johnsons. There's no diamonds in the rough that you can truly see are going to be successful leaders of men right now. And it's funny, like, the one name that's been floated around the most, I think, in this market has been Mike McCarthy. I don't know. Did you guys see him go on, I don't know, some, NFL game day or whatever the hell? And he didn't even know how to say Caleb Williams' name. Like, has the guy not been watching football? Like, Caleb Williams was the number 1 draft pick last year. If you don't know how to say his name, I'm worried that you haven't been paying attention, and I'm not ready to let you lead the helm of this franchise. I don't care how successful you have been in other stops. Besides the point, my biggest concern with these guys, and I know it's not just this market, but this is more so kind of from a moral standpoint. And if I'm not the guy to stand on a moral high horse, please let me know. I wouldn't say that I am at all times, but I like when people try and shoot it straight a little bit. Since week 5, this entire coaching staff, when I talk about the people who are standing in front of the media with Johnathan Gannon and Drew Petzing, just continuously lie through their teeth to us. That's all that they have done this year. I understand you're trying to save face with the Kyler Murray situation, because you're trying to have leverage for a trade to be able to move him to get like anything back at this point. But we literally have tape of him practicing and looking the exact same that he had looked the entire year, the week before the Dallas Cowboys game. And then you tell me that he needs to work on his health bucket because he's not ready to play? Folks, like I've said it a couple times, and Matt should like this one. I need the hand up. I need the hand up every once in a while from my guys. And sometimes the hand up is, we missed it. We didn't put our team into the proper successful situations. So work with us because we are going to be trying new things and trying new schemes to get better. We never got that from these guys. All we've gotten is, I love my guys. I think we can win with the players that we have. The systems are working. This is a great play call week in, week out. And now we are giving up 40 burgers every fucking week. I'm tired of being lied to. And that's where a lot of people stand at this point. So I know he's going to have to be given another chance, because how else are you going to get any kind of momentum going into next year, having to reset with a brand new quarterback? We're screwed, guys. That's all it comes down to. We're literally screwed.
Yeah, in order to keep the ruse going, like Michael Bidwell is going to need like a couple years of like a couple winning seasons to keep Cardinals fans engaged. Because if you just do the same old song and dance, you're looking at hiring a first-time head coach, him not knowing what he's doing. Maybe you swap out the GM, and it just never gets any better. Where I don't know, guys. There's a lot of things that could happen between now and then. But the biggest thing for me is it seems like this Cardinals team has just quit. And Mike, I totally agree with you. Like, the message could be different. They could try something different, dramatically different, hold guys accountable, but they just refuse to do it. And when we see what we didn't see, because we were obviously driving to the golf course, but on the second play of the game, they give up a 57-yard Nico Collins touchdown that sounds like could have been a 12-yard gain at worst, but we can't freaking tackle. And that was the thing, is like, when the offense was starting to go to shit, it was like, well, at least the defense is actually a lot better than we expected. And I feel like we've said that the last 2 years, where it's like, for about 6 to 8 games, the Cardinals defense will be exceeding expectations, just absolute killers. And then the back half, they just disappear. And is it injuries? Is it coaching? Is it other teams making adjustments and us not making adjustments? I don't know, man. But I just know that this is not at all what I think any of us expected 4 months ago, whatever, when this season started. And we jokingly started the Kyler Murray hot seat, being like, where's he going to be at the end of the season? Is it going to get all the way up to a 10? And now we had to stop doing it not even halfway through the season, because he's basically not on the roster anymore. But I don't know. I know we've been jibber jabbering, and we're probably going to get out of here soon. There's a few more things I want to get to. But Tallman, is there anything else you wanted to say about the Cardinals?
Well, yeah. So just touching on what you said there, I mean, people giving up. I mean, it's evident there. And the play you mentioned, the Nico Collins touchdown, the second play of the game, I mean, you're not talking about backup guys or third string guys. That was Budda Baker that whiffed on that. Like, that's the guy that a couple seasons ago, he was crying and begging on Hard Knocks for his team to just fucking give a shit. But is he at that point now? I mean, it's hard. How do you get inspired to go out and play in an Arizona Cardinals football game every Sunday? Like, it's got to be difficult when you had momentum. I mean, the schedule was laid out where we did our predictions. I think all of us were like, yeah, we're going to be 5-2. I think, Chris, you might have even said 6-1, going into the bye. And we started 2-0, right? Very shaky, but you're like, okay, we're just slow start. Maybe we're going to figure this out. And then you just fall flat on your face. So, but we're at that point now where we know what we got in Jacoby Brissett. Would you guys kick the tires on, what's the guy's name? Slovis?
Keaton Slovis? I know nothing about him. Why not?
So would you run him out there? I mean,
so this is my other thought process in regard to, I don't understand how people can even think about bringing Johnathan Gannon back, because once again, 2 out of the 3 years we are coming down the stretch into December football where the only thing we're thinking about is the Cardinals need to make sure they lose this fucking game so we can get the best draft pick possible. And by doing so, Tallman, they need to play Keaton Slovis because he'll be out there throwing, some duck hooks and hospital balls on a consistent basis. But who cares? We already got practice players out there anyways. Might as well just add a couple more practice players to the roster so we can just continue to give up 40 balls and get bombed off the field. So when you are consistently at this point hoping for losses, you have lost the fan base and you need a reset. You can't do that 2 out of 3 seasons with a brand new regime.
No, and it looks like Keaton Slovis was one of those Van Wilder quarterbacks, did 5 years in college, played a whole lot of games, and then kids kicked her out on practice squads. I don't know. I'm just learning about this kid. He went to Desert Mountain. I do remember that fact. Valley kid from Scottsdale. So I love it, Mike. Hospital balls. That's the first time I've heard that expression, but I knew immediately what you meant. Incredible turn of phrase.
You've never heard of hospital balls? That's been around forever, man.
Have you guys, Tallman? You heard that?
Yeah, that's just where he's serving it up. People getting killed trying to catch it.
Well,
yeah, I got it.
Dude over the middle, and there's a safety hounding on him. No hospital balls because Trey McBride can't not try to catch hospital balls. He's crazy.
Well, that's where Trey McBride might need like a phantom injury unless he's chasing like a record or something.
Yeah, the five catches.
Trey is chasing records right now. He's going to set the franchise record and the NFL record with catches from a tight end. So
maybe Jacoby does need to stay out there.
Yeah. I mean, Jacoby needs to play if you want to have any semblance of a competent football team.
Yeah, we're losing anyways. Why change it?
Yeah, exactly.
Already dog shit.
Well, you're not going to get buy-in from anybody if you're going to run Slovis out there. Like, why would you go put your body on the line?
Do you have buy-in right now?
Well, I mean, that's really like, hey, we're really trying to lose, right? Like, I mean, you got to shut all your star players got to be shut down then.
Yeah, and that's what's so funny is because like guys like Ron Wolfley want to go out there and always be, and I don't blame him, but always be like, oh, we're professional athletes. Like if the team's trying to lose, we'll always go out there, the blood sport. But it's like, bro, you can't look at that Cardinals team right now and tell me all of those guys have any. Like, I'm sure there are guys that still have fire in them, but like by and large, like, I mean, man, I don't know. It'd be hard for me to get up and give a shit with this team right now, but
I do have a thing on the buy-in. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the Arizona Cardinals. So, guys, we literally don't even have buy-in from the coaching staff. Did you see the defensive line coach jump ship to go join Michigan State's coaching staff? And he's not even getting a better position. He's going back to college to be a defensive line coach. So if that doesn't also put some things for the writing on the wall, if you want to talk about that, maybe that's somebody who sees, hey, this is my first dance in the NFL and it has gone tremendously horrible. And for the expectations that we had all put on that defensive line as well, I'm sure he was on the boiling seat. So he jumped ship early. Like, it's just, you don't have buy-in from the coach who is literally leaving before the season ends. Where you stand right now, why is anybody going to buy into the end of the season? They're going to collect paychecks and try not to get hurt. That's why the tackling has also been absolutely horrendous the past 3 weeks. It's just all a mess. It's all a mess.
And how sad is that? Like, and I think the Cardinals did the right thing by letting him go, but it's like, he's like, hey guys, like, season's over. Got this job offer. Is it cool? And they're like, yeah, man. Yeah. Peace out. Like, that's hilarious. But man, I mean, we're recording the Heat Check podcast on Saturday. We always we do that once a month in person. That's our flagship podcast. And we kind of keep it high level, big picture. So I expect that we are going to make some predictions and talk about the future of the Arizona Cardinals, the coaching staff, the player personnel staff and all of this stuff. And kind of see if we have any more thoughts on where we go from here. But fellas, I did mention just one last little quick topic. I know it's kind of taboo to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks in December on Valley Sports Plug, but there was some big news in the last week. the Arizona Diamondbacks have signed starting pitcher Mike Soroka, a veteran pitcher. I believe he's pitched for the Braves and bounced around. Have had him in fantasy in the past, did well, but as of late has not been quite up to tip-top form. But I think it's a pretty favorable deal. Tallman will keep me honest, but I think it's about $5 million. So not too bad for a guy that could be in your starting rotation. And then, of course, I'm burying the lead. The big news, Merrill Kelly returning to your Arizona Diamondbacks on a 2-year, $40 million deal. I felt it was a little bit rich, but was quickly reminded that he's not a velo guy, so he doesn't need to throw hard. He's gotta be able to paint those corners still. Tallman, I know you love this, man. I know you love this.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not? How do you not? And I know you go, okay, 2 years, 40 million. The guy's going to be 38 years old, but who gives a shit? There's no salary cap in baseball. Ken Kendrick, spend all the fucking money you want, but I'm just kidding. But I was.
Yeah, could we have preferred this have like 10 years? Like,
yeah, well, hey, I mean,
for 10 years or something.
you could join the club with the Dodgers. They hit $1 billion, $1 billion with a B. $1 billion deferred through like 2047 or something. That's
$1 billion.
It's crazy, but I mean, everyone's doing it though, so it's not like they're the only one that figured out this grand thing. But first, yeah, Soroka was a 7.5 million. Chris.
Okay, a little more. Okay,
yeah, but then you look at Kelly. Obviously, 2 years. It's not going to be more than that because he's old. 20 million, guys. You got to remember he was the best pitcher in our rotation when he was traded to the Rangers. So you just got to cross fingers. Hopefully he comes back in Merrill, the mainstay Kelly fashion and picks up where he left off. And I was excited when I read it. I mean, I was a little surprised, but not fully surprised because, I mean, since the day he got traded, he never shot down the possibility of coming back to the Diamondbacks in the offseason. And then this is great. I mean, we got 3 3 of the higher up prospects, pitching prospects from the Rangers for a 2-month rental of Kelly. And now he's back. And I mean, this pretty much solidifies Zach Gallen is not coming back. I mean, you're not going to sign Soroka to 7.5 and then bring Kelly back for 2 years, 40 million, and then sign Gallen. So Gallen's gone, which is okay. I'm sure there's a lot of D-backs fans that don't care about that. But I like how it lines up because who would have thought Merrill Kelly is going to be your opening day starter for the Diamondbacks in 2026? And I would be willing to bet on that right now today that that's going to happen. But the Soroka addition is great because, I mean, that's your rotation right there. Soroka can fill in, not fit in, until Burns is ready to come back. I mean, you got Kelly, we got Eduardo for 2 years. I know Chris loves that. You got your boys in Fott and Nelson, and then you got Soroka filling in the spot of Burns until that. So it's almost like you got that your starting rotation set here. We need some more depth. Obviously, we need hella bullpen help. We need who's going to play third base, who's going to play first base. We don't have a left fielder for probably a majority of the season. And then are you going to trade Ketel Marte? Are you not? Are you okay with what's going on in center field? There's still a lot of questions going on, but it was nice to see one of the bigger needs get taken care of, and even better that it was done with a familiar face in Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's like, there's a lot of just unanswered questions, I think. And that's like the torturous part of the offseason is like just waiting for the next pin to drop. And it is a great start. Obviously, love to have Kelly back. He had expressed interest like immediately of like, if I get moved, I want to come back. And then like, even after he's like, yeah, I'd be open to come back. And so they worked it out and he's happy to be here. I think it's like a good, like all around move. Obviously his production on the field, but also in the locker room, he a guy who wants to be here is going to be happy. And a veteran like that will be able to help out the younger guys as well. And then Soroka, I did just want to comment on that because I think there is a lot of potential there, but it's like boom or bust almost, where it looks like doing some light research, he had an injury in 2020 that kept him out for a couple seasons, came back and just hasn't really quite been himself since then, but only 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. So you bring in a guy that could still have a lot of legs left in him if you can get him right. Get him back, build his confidence. But yeah, the Marte thing, now you got the Bregman news getting thrown in there today. Looks like Alex Bregman, is looking to to garner a lot of money, about $170 million deal in total. New England Sports Network is projecting. So it's funny because like we're like, oh, we don't, there's no more money left for Gallen. But then we hear this news. I think that a Bregman signing would be predicated on moving off of Ketel Marte, although the whole thing with Ketel Marte is he does have a very favorable contract. So it's not really like, I know there's no cap, but there's a certain amount of money that Ken Kendrick is willing to spend. And does moving off of Ketel Marte's contract open up enough in that bucket to be able to make a big signing like Alex Bregman, or to bring back a Gallen, or another, what do they say, 8-figure kind of contract? Because I think right now we're probably looking at closer to those smaller dollar ones where you're, a couple million, 3-4 guys, maybe bring in a veteran, like kind of like we did with the catcher we brought in the middle of the season, who kind of found some legs and worked out for us. But it's interesting. A lot of unanswered questions. No one at third, no one at first. You're going to have Gurriel out for a portion of the season. Burns is going to miss basically all the season. I forget he's even on the team sometimes. Yeah, sure there'll be some good conversation to have there, though. But Mike, I don't think we've heard your perspective, though, on the return of Merrill Kelly.
Love the old man coming back. I think Tallman touched on it too. The money that is being shelled out. I think I was a little bit in sticker shock for $20 million a year. But if there is one person that does deserve it, it's Merrill Kelly. So let's see him finish off his career on a high point. But I'm just so pissed because the Cardinals suck so much. We have to talk about the Diamondbacks already. But here's my high level thoughts, and then I'm done until at least January, or we might talk about the D-backs on our heat check. But you're going to trade Ketel Marte. I think the tea leaves are showing that is going to happen. You're going to sign Alec Bregman. You're going to move Jordan Lawler to second. And then you're going to be able to make another miraculous play for Tarek Skubal, because you saw him throwing outside of Chase Field. Did you guys see that? Out there doing long toss just in the streets in Phoenix?
Really?
Yeah. I think that was last week or just a couple of days ago. I know.
Totally missed that.
He has a good relationship with Devin Booker because Devin's a Detroit guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was here hanging out with him, doing some off-season work. And I know Phoenix is notorious for a lot of major league players to come and do their off-season stuff here too.
Comes to Scottsdale a lot.
But there's going to be a lot of interesting conversations to have around this Diamondbacks club, specifically the starting position rotations. Are they going to do what we think they're going to do and find some way to keep Ryan Nelson out of the starting lineup this year? I don't think so. They're going to need him to pitch, but man, I can't believe it. Spring training is coming faster than we can imagine too. So it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, man, the sports calendar never stops. I love talking sports with you guys. And like I said, there's just too much going on. We didn't even get to cover it all. But we're going to be continuing on with the live streams. This was our last roundtable. We are no longer going to be having streams called roundtables, but we are still going to be live streaming. I believe the schedule is going to be unchanged going into the new year. It'll be every Tuesday between 7 and 8 p.m. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe right here on YouTube and hit the notification bell, because that'll let you know, and it'll give you a warning in advance. It'll say Valley Sports Plug going live in 30 minutes. So you can get your snacks, you can get your drinks, you can tell your friends, you can post about it. I'm just playing. But we love to have you guys here joining with us. If you're listening back on the playback and you're listening this far in, you're a true, real one, and we appreciate you. But I do want to give these fellas the floor one last time. I know, Mike, I don't know if those were your last thoughts overall. You did say you were done, but I will give you the floor one last time. But let's start with our honorary guest here, Mr. T Jr. What do you got, buddy?
Why do we have to suck? Why? It'd be so much more fun if we were like. Also, why are we in the hardest division? Like, goddamn, the NFC West is crazy this year, dude. But yeah, not much to say. It's quiet. I feel like this time of year where it's like right before Christmas, you got these weird freaking Tuesday night, Wednesday night bowl games between interesting teams that we would never watch, and you're throwing $40 on some stupid bet.
Don't bet on Troy.
I didn't even watch. What's the score for that?
Oh, I didn't look at it. Sorry,
you didn't look at it. But yeah, no, I'm hoping for a fun college football playoff. I hope the Cardinals fix something, do something. I don't know, dude. I think, the GM talk, you talking about the GM, I started to think, like, fire that motherfucker. Get him out of here. Like, I don't know. But no, it's fun. It's nice to talk with you guys. I'm going to miss the roundtables because I know we're more of a square thing going on here. So, no, I'm excited to see what comes of it. Always good chatting with y'all fellas, but on to 2026, boys.
Oh yeah, Matt. And don't think that you're getting off that easy. We're still gonna have you on. You just won't be on a roundtable. You'll be on a different stream. But that aside, man, like I mean, you bring up a great point. I love this time of year. There's just a ton of sports happening all the time, and like the NFL schedule is getting weird now. We got Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they're like doubling up. And then there's gonna be like a Christmas game, and Christmas basketball games are always the big thing, but the NFL are trying to steal their thunder, and all these bowl games going on. So like, I'm going to be working from home all next week, and I'm going to wheel the TV in here and probably have something playing all week while I just work really hard at my job. But Tallman, I'm just rambling again. Go ahead. What do you got?
You're going to wheel the TV in there? What are you, fucking 6 years old?
like in class, like when you would watch Bill Nye.
Yeah, like, oh, here it comes on a fucking cart. But no, this is fun, guys. But I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the only two people on the stream that made the fantasy football playoffs. Me and Chris.
What are you talking about? I won my playoff week last week.
Oh, he's talking.
Oh, I'm talking about the only one that matters.
Oh, the only one that matters. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The only one that
when
matters.
You're not in the other one, then that doesn't matter. All right, I see how it is.
That's a different league. Ladies and gentlemen, that Mike is talking about.
So I'll use this to say, Chris, I will never play in fourth quarter league again if that doesn't matter.
This league
not
sucked.
do it.
There's money on the line though, Mike. What do you mean? It's not like it.
I'm done. I'm a one team guy from now on. I will not do multiple teams.
I don't blame you. But like, if I won fourth quarter league, I wouldn't be bragging about it. But because
I'll brag when I win some money. So.
There you go. Okay, I had to think about that again, but me and Chris are playing each other in the first round, and I think he's gonna beat me. So my team sucks.
Oh please, I don't have a quarterback right now.
I don't think it matters. I mean, who is it that's playing the Raiders that you can pick up?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and get CJ Stroud.
That's who they're playing, the Raiders. Absolutely 100% pick him up and play him.
Yeah, so
we'll see. It's not gonna matter.
We'll see how that goes. But no, thank you for the shout out, Tallman. You're right. We are in the playoffs. Only one of us here is in the playoffs in both leagues, but that's neither here nor there. Mike says every year that he's not going to do fourth quarter league. He's going to do fourth quarter league. We'll get him. We'll get him back. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys. I love doing fantasy sports. Mike, I know I will give you the floor one last time. Actually, let me give you the floor one last time.
Well, I'm still in the fourth quarter league because you threaten me every year with like physical violence. So like, what am I going to do? Even though I do tower over you, I'm not a fight.
Yeah. Are you scared? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into a fist fight with my brother, but gentlemen, I mean, this is the last stream of the year. It's crazy to think that we've been at this thing called Valley Sports Plug for now over 3.5 years. I think it's crazy to think that we have been sticking it out and talking about some pretty bad teams. Like Matt had said, remember, the Arizona Cardinals are the most tenured franchise in NFL history. And in 105 seasons, the Cardinals have had 11 winning seasons. So it is just the epitome of trash here for our football side. Unfortunately, some of our teams get close and then find a way to slip on the banana peel. And but it doesn't mean we don't love them, and it doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about them. 2026, we're going to have some discussions about what we can freshen up and what we can continue to strive for here at Valley Sports Plug, because I feel like we've been at this for so long that there are some really awesome times coming pretty soon here. So I always appreciate you guys, and I'm very appreciative of Mr. T Jr. making the final roundtable. I couldn't have thought of anybody better to be on. If you watch us here at VSP, you know Matt hasn't been around
It's been a
for a
while.
couple of months.
It's been since I moved in here. So this is the first time in the new. So no, dude.
But
I'm
it's not because he hates us or he hates our sports teams. It's because our boys been getting some swinging done with softball. So,
shout out.
Yeah, shout out. We
Shout
actually
out.
just won our Friday League, City of Mesa. Shout out Bryce. Shout out
I
Jack.
knew
Shout
they
out
were
all
gonna
those
get
guys.
pissed.
Hey, if they're
That was
gonna throw shots about fantasy football, there's my shot thrown out there. But Tallman, Chris, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys immensely, and I can't wait to keep rolling. And we'll have some fun with Heat Check this weekend.
100%. Mike, not a whole lot I can add there. Very well said. I would also just say that since we've started Valley Sports Plug and watching all these shitty teams and following and covering these shitty teams, we've lost one of our shitty teams who has gone to Utah and is no longer existing. Now, to be fair, we didn't really cover the Coyotes anyway, but the point stands, and I think it just speaks to the broader state of Valley sports. But I love it, man. I do love it, and I'm not going to switch up. And we joke about finding new fandoms and switching markets, but it's never going to happen. Even if you take me out of Arizona, I'm still going to root for our local teams. And I'm still going to love getting on here and talking about it, and especially talking about it with you guys. And as Mike said, as our channel changes and hopefully grows, I truly believe you can't grow if you stay the same. And the definition of insanity, as Tallman loves to remind me, is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And we're trying to grow and we're trying to reach more people and have a lot of fun. And as we grow, we can do different things like having an interaction with the audience who's joining us on the live streams, or interacting with you guys in the comments. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I ask you guys to comment. You don't comment a lot, but we'll have that conversation again next year. But in the meantime, again, if you're this far in the video or listening back on audio only podcast, I know you're already keeping up with us, but just to remind you and maybe let your friends know, follow us at AZ_VSP on Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, and so much more. All of our links will be in the description below. But for Mr. Benjamin, VSP Tallman, and Mr. T Jr., I'm Chris Patrick, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace.